we've created a new application called Shotput Studio, which adds a multitude of functionality. But what we're really focusing on in the show is automating things like data ingest, transcoding, uploading to the cloud, or even sharing or sending data to a hot folder that another application is watching that can then pick up the data and do what it needs to do with the data. Imagine Products is a workflow software company. We take complex processes in managing of data and streamline it and make it as easy as possible without sacrificing the integrity of the data.
Now, what does that mean in English?
What it means is you've got files, you need them to go somewhere, and you need to make sure that they match the source, and we help you do that.
So you're like a file copy program?
That is our claim to fame. That is what we're known for. We have an app called Shotput Pro, been around since 2008 that does that. But we've got a lot of new stuff.
For instance, what's the new stuff?
We have built on top of Shotput Pro, we've created a new application called Shotput Studio, which adds a multitude of functionality. But what we're really focusing on in the show is automating things like data ingest, transcoding, uploading to the cloud, or even sharing or sending data to a hot folder that another application is watching that can then pick up the data and do what it needs to do with the data.
Give me a sample workflow. Be practical.
Okay, so you're in the field. You've got cards flying around. As you're offloading the cards, you need to make sure that that precious data that is on the cards gets copied to these fast SSDs appropriately verified, and make sure that everything's byte equivalent. There's things that need to happen after that. For instance, I've got some producer that's halfway across the world that wants to see in real time what I'm doing. My solution for that is I'm going to take or make low-res H.264s, churn through the original data, send them up to a cloud bucket somewhere so instantly this producer can see what's going on.
It isn't instant, but it is as quickly as you can upload to the cloud. It's not like there was an instant proxy done. You have to get it compressed. You got to get it uploaded. They've got to know that it's there, but really close to quick.
Yeah, it's doing it in real time as the data is flowing off the camera card to a fast SSD. As soon as a file is completely copied, then you can make the transcode without having to do any additional work.
You can program it so all of that's done at one time.
That's right. It's an automated pipeline.
Got it.
Through which your data is flowing to the locations it needs to go.
Okay, so we've got that at the front end. And what else does Imagine do?
Well, we also have archiving software called MyLTO that's sort of the end point when everything that needs to be done with the data is done and you want to put it in cold storage. It can put the data on an LTO tape.
So what have you got for us that's new at the show?
What's new at the show is the automation feature in Shotput Studio that takes the transcoding, the uploading, all of those separate processes that I have described, and allows you to create a custom workflow that automates all of those processes without you having to manually, at each step of the way, dictate what's going on. You basically set up the pipeline at the start of the day, and it's ready to go. Start plugging in cameras, and it just automatically takes care of all these things that you need done.
There is not a direct comparison, but you and Hedge do some very similar things.
We do.
How are you better or different?
Well, I would say that the main difference with Studio, we have a lot of overlap in terms of what our apps do. The main advantage, I would say, of what Shotput Studio does, in terms of not just the automation, it's all of this functionality under one roof. You only need one application to do all of these things, whereas with other companies, they have several apps to do these things. So the advantage, I think, there is you have one app to do all of these things, and you don't need to manage a bunch of different licenses and interfaces.
Where does AI fit into your products, if at all?
Well, the AI fits into our products. We sort of have this relationship with Axle AI. We can feed into their MAM, and the MAM can pick up the data that we are supplying and do powerful things with AI, such as on-prem auto-tagging using scene recognition, facial recognition, object recognition, to take the data, auto-tag it, and create low-res equivalents of your high-res data, so then you can easily catalog and locate all of this data that you got flying around. The problem that everyone's dealing with now is you've got so much data over so many days, weeks, months, and years. When it comes time to find that data, it's a problem. And with our closer relationship with Axle, those tools are help simplify that process of finding the data when you need it and getting it where it needs to go, when it needs to be there.
How would you describe a typical customer?
It's hard to say that there's typical, because we have customers that sort of run the gamut. We have customers that are independent, they're run and gun shooters, weddings, small stuff. Then we have consumers, and we have a relationship with Netflix, and they're doing these high-end productions and massive amounts of data management. So the small mom and pop shop all the way up to the very big motion picture producers. So we've got customers that run the whole spectrum.
One of the challenges that we have in today's market is that the industry seems to either be fragmenting or just it's going in all directions at once. What trends are you following to figure out what products to develop for the future?
I would say that the trend that I've seen, especially here at the show, and it's the trend that with our relationship with Axle and some other companies, is trying to make 2 + 2 = 5. That you've got these companies that do, synergies. There's synergies between what we do. So let's connect those pieces to automate these things that either currently require manual intensive processes, and just streamline things, make the whole workflow smooth, so you as the content creator can focus on creating content and not doing all this other stuff that is necessary but that you really don't want to spend your time doing.
How do you see the evolution of Shotput? I mean, you had Shotput and then Shotput Pro and now Shotput Studio. Where's the evolution taking it?
I think the evolution is taking it to connecting pieces. That we've got that ingest point, but the data's got to go beyond that. I think the next step is the relationship building and the integrating with other companies further down the line that do what they do very well. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel to accomplish something. It's all about the relationship building and getting these things that need to get done that are currently complicated and simplifying it so we connect the pieces and don't force you to do that. Again, so you can focus on content creation and not data management.
For people that have not yet heard of Imagine products, what are the key benefits you want them to remember?
I think the key benefits to remember is that we sell very powerful workflow tools at a very attractive price point. That I like to say we punch above our weight, that we offer very good value for what we do. And there's some comfort in the fact that we've been around since 1992. We're not a Johnny-come-lately organization. We've been in this game, for many, many years. So there's some, peace of mind there that we're going to be there when you need us.
Cool. Mark, thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. It's been a pleasure.